Imagine this: you swing your legs off the bed, stand up, and, boom, your ears roar like a seashell pressed against your head, the room tilts, and your hand shoots out to grab the nightstand. That dizzy rush? It's your heart begging for a pressure release valve. But here's the shocker: the fix isn't another pill or a life sentence of bland, salt-free meals. It's hiding in plain sight, glossy, colorful, and probably sitting a few steps away in your fruit bowl. In fact, one humble piece of fruit has been shown to slash systolic blood pressure up to 3 times more than cutting sodium alone. Stay with me, because the latest research turns everything we thought we knew about hypertension on its head, and by the end of this video you'll know exactly which fruit can calm those surging numbers before your next doctor's appointment. Drop a whoosh in the comments if you've felt that morning head rush, and let's dive in. Now, what if I told you that the cure for your blood pressure issues isn't sitting in your medicine cabinet collecting dust, but right there in your fruit bowl on the kitchen counter? And here's the kicker that's going to completely change how you think about managing your health: there's one fruit that can drop your systolic blood pressure 3 times more effectively than cutting salt from your diet. 3 times more effective than all that bland, tasteless food you've been forcing yourself to eat. I know what you're thinking: this sounds too good to be true, right? Well, stick around because I'm about to blow your mind with some cutting-edge research from 2025 that's literally changing everything we thought we knew about managing blood pressure naturally. We're talking about peer-reviewed studies, real clinical trials, and results that are making doctors take a second look at their prescription pads. Before we dive deep into this life-changing information, hit that like button if you're tired of relying on pills for everything, and let's get into this journey together. You know what's absolutely crazy about modern medicine? For decades, literally decades, doctors have been telling us the same thing over and over: cut salt, cut salt, cut salt. And look, I'm not here to bash medical professionals. Reducing sodium is genuinely important for cardiovascular health. But here's the part that's going to make you question everything: cutting sodium alone often hits a wall harder than you hit the snooze button on Monday morning. You start this journey full of hope and determination. You throw out your favorite seasonings, you start reading every single food label like it's a religious text, and you resign yourself to eating food that tastes like cardboard soaked in disappointment. Maybe you see some improvement at first, your numbers drop a little, you feel proud of yourself, you think you've cracked the code. But then what happens? It plateaus. You're stuck there, wondering why you're still dealing with high blood pressure despite sacrificing everything that made food enjoyable. Here's where it gets really interesting, and this is the part that most doctors either don't know or forget to mention. The real game changer isn't what you're taking out of your diet, it's what you're putting in. And that missing piece, that secret weapon that's been hiding in plain sight, is potassium. Think of sodium and potassium as 2 kids on a seesaw at the playground. When one goes up, the other needs to come down to keep things balanced. But here's our modern problem: most of us are getting way too much sodium. We're talking about 1,500 to 3,000 milligrams more than we should, and we're getting nowhere near enough potassium. The average American gets maybe half the potassium they need. Half. It's like trying to balance that seesaw with a sumo wrestler on one side and a kindergartner on the other. That's where our first fruit comes in, and trust me, it's going to quietly outperform most medications you've ever heard of. But before we get there, let me ask you something: raise your hand, or better yet, leave a comment if you've ever felt frustrated by the whole "just eat less salt" advice. I want to know I'm not the only one who thinks there's got to be a better way. Let's talk about the humble banana, and I can already see some of you rolling your eyes thinking, really? A banana? That's your big revelation? But hear me out, because what I'm about to share is going to completely change how you look at this everyday fruit that you've probably been taking for granted. A medium banana. We're talking about a regular, nothing special banana from your local grocery store, packs around 420 milligrams of potassium. Now, that number might not mean much to you right now, but here's where it gets absolutely mind-blowing. According to a groundbreaking 2025 study from the University of Waterloo, and this is hot off the presses, people, adding just 1 gram of dietary potassium to your daily intake can lower your blood pressure 3 times more effectively than removing 1 gram of sodium from your diet. Let me repeat that because I want it to sink in: 3 times more effective than all that salt restriction you've been torturing yourself with. Like this video right now if that statistic just completely blew your mind, because when I first read this research, I had to read it 3 times to make sure I wasn't seeing things. But here's where it gets even better. This isn't just about numbers on a page, this is about real, practical changes you can make today. Here's a game-changing tip you can implement before your next meal: blend a banana with some unsweetened cocoa powder and maybe a splash of almond milk. You're not just getting that potassium powerhouse, the cocoa acts as a natural vasodilator, which is a fancy way of saying it helps your blood vessels relax and widen. It's like having an instant blood pressure smoothie that actually tastes amazing. Now, I need to pause here and add something really important because I believe in giving you the complete picture. If you have advanced kidney disease, too much potassium can actually be dangerous for you. Your kidneys might not be able to filter it properly, and that can cause serious complications. This is why I always tell people, and I cannot stress this enough, always check with your doctor first, especially if you're already on blood pressure medication. The last thing we want is for you to accidentally amplify your medication effects. Comment below and let me know, are you team banana, or have you been sleeping on this yellow powerhouse? I'm genuinely curious about your relationship with bananas because I have a feeling a lot of you are about to become believers. Now, let's move from the world of yellow to something that's going to paint your plate with blues and purples. Berries aren't just Instagram-worthy additions to your smoothie bowl, they're like tiny little pressure relief valves for your arteries, and the science behind this is absolutely fascinating. The magic ingredient here is called anthocyanins. These are the compounds that give berries their deep, rich, almost jewel-like colors. But these aren't just pretty pigments sitting there looking good. These anthocyanins are biochemical warriors that boost something called nitric oxide synthase. Now, stay with me here because this is where it gets really cool. Nitric oxide synthase is basically your body's way of telling your arteries to take a deep breath, relax, and stop being so uptight and tense. Here's some research that's going to make you want to stock up on berries immediately. A comprehensive meta-analysis published just last June in 2024, so this is cutting-edge, recent science, looked at people with metabolic syndrome who incorporated berries into their regular diet. The results? They saw significant drops in their systolic blood pressure. We're not talking about marginal improvements that you need a microscope to detect. These were meaningful, measurable changes that you could actually feel in your daily life. And here's a simple hack that's going to change your evening routine: keep a bag of frozen blueberries in your freezer and have a handful after dinner. This isn't just a delicious way to end your meal, it actually helps curb those post-meal blood pressure spikes that can catch you completely off guard. You know those moments when you feel a little flushed or your heart beats a bit faster after a big meal? Those berries are working to smooth out those spikes. The beautiful thing about frozen berries is that they're actually just as nutritious as fresh ones, sometimes even more so because they're frozen at peak ripeness. Plus, they're available year-round and they're budget-friendly. If you're going to try this tonight, drop a comment and let me know. I love hearing from people who are ready to make these simple but powerful changes. But here's something interesting I want you to think about: color alone isn't everything in the fruit world. Sometimes it's that bright, citrusy tang that does the trick, and that's exactly where we're heading next. Oranges and their citrus cousins are like nature's little pharmacy wrapped in a bright, cheerful package. They're absolutely loaded with two powerhouse compounds, hesperidin and vitamin C. Now, when these two work together, they're like a perfectly choreographed tag team for your vascular health. They help keep your blood vessels elastic and flexible, kind of like how a good stretching routine keeps your muscles limber and ready for action. Here's something that might completely surprise you and challenge what you think you know about juice versus whole fruit. In one carefully controlled randomized trial, concentrated orange juice actually lowered blood pressure more effectively than fresh orange juice. I know, this goes against everything we've been told about whole fruits being better than juice. But the concentration of these active compounds in the concentrated form seemed to make a significant difference. Now, before you rush out and start chugging orange juice by the gallon, there's a controversy we absolutely need to address, and this one could potentially save you from a dangerous situation. Grapefruit, beautiful, delicious, tangy grapefruit, can actually amplify the effects of certain blood pressure medications by blocking an enzyme called CYP3A4. Think of this enzyme as a bouncer at a nightclub, controlling how much of your medication gets into your system. When grapefruit blocks this bouncer, it's like turning up the volume on your medication when you definitely didn't mean to. The effects can be so dramatic that some people have ended up in emergency rooms because their blood pressure dropped too low, too fast. But here's the fascinating part: food scientists are actually working on developing new grapefruit hybrids that are medication safe. They're trying to keep all the delicious flavor and health benefits while removing the compounds that cause the drug interactions. For now, if you're on calcium channel blockers, medications like amlodipine, nifedipine, or any of those drugs that end in pine, stick to navel oranges, mandarins, and other citrus fruits. They'll give you all the cardiovascular benefits without the risky drug interactions. Share this information with someone you know who loves grapefruit but takes blood pressure medication. They'll definitely thank you later, and you might literally be saving them from a trip to the ER. Knowledge like this is meant to be shared, people. Now let's talk about a fruit that might seem too small and unassuming to make a big difference: the mighty kiwi. Don't let its size fool you, because what we're about to discover is going to prove that sometimes the smallest packages contain the biggest surprises. In a rigorous 2022 randomized controlled trial, and I want to emphasize this was a proper scientific study, not just observational research, people who ate just 2 kiwis before breakfast saw their systolic blood pressure drop by almost 3 millimeters of mercury in just 7 weeks. Now, you might be thinking, 3 millimeters? That doesn't sound like much. But in the world of blood pressure management, that's actually incredibly significant. We're talking about a reduction that many prescription medications struggle to achieve. Here's why kiwis are such cardiovascular superstars. They're absolutely packed with lutein, which is better known for eye health but also plays a crucial role in vascular health. But here's the really interesting part, kiwis also contain compounds that help your body produce serotonin. Most people think of serotonin as the happy chemical, the neurotransmitter that affects mood and well-being. But serotonin also has this amazing ability to help keep your blood vessels calm, relaxed, and functioning optimally. Here's a simple morning routine change that could transform your blood pressure readings. Instead of sprinkling raisins on your morning oats or cereal, try slicing a fresh kiwi on top. You're not just getting better blood pressure benefits, you're also getting a much lower glycemic load, which means more stable blood sugar throughout the morning. It's like upgrading your breakfast without really changing anything fundamental about your routine. The texture contrast is amazing too. You get that sweet tart flavor and that satisfying little crunch from the seeds. Hit that like button if you're going to make this simple swap tomorrow morning, because I guarantee your taste buds and your cardiovascular system are going to thank you for it. Small fruit, absolutely massive impact, but our next fruit is going to take us in a completely different direction. We're talking about a summertime giant with a secret amino acid that's going to surprise you. Watermelon. Now we're talking about a fruit that doesn't just refresh you on a hot summer day, it's actually working behind the scenes as a sophisticated cardiovascular support system. This isn't just about staying hydrated, although that's definitely part of the magic. Watermelon is loaded with something called L-citrulline, and this amino acid is about to become your new best friend. Here's how the science works. Your body takes that L-citrulline and converts it into nitric oxide, which we talked about earlier with the berries. Think of nitric oxide as nature's most effective blood vessel relaxer. It's like having a skilled massage therapist working on your arteries from the inside. But watermelon doesn't stop there. It also delivers lycopene, that powerful antioxidant that gives it that beautiful red color, plus a solid dose of potassium. We're talking about a triple threat against high blood pressure, all wrapped up in one of summer's most beloved fruits. The research backing this up is really impressive. Studies from 2023 and 2024 consistently show modest but meaningful reductions in systolic blood pressure and improved aortic hemodynamics. That's fancy medical speak for better blood flow through your main artery, the highway that carries blood from your heart to the rest of your body. Here's a pre-workout tip that's going to change your exercise game. Have a cup of chilled watermelon about 30 minutes before you hit the gym or go for that walk. You're getting better blood flow, enhanced hydration, and natural nitric oxide support all in one delicious package. It's like nature's version of those expensive pre-workout supplements, except it tastes a million times better and doesn't give you the jitters. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you here because transparency matters. Some acute studies, meaning short-term, immediate effect studies, show mixed results with watermelon. This doesn't mean watermelon doesn't work, it means that consistency is absolutely key. You can't just eat watermelon once, measure your blood pressure an hour later, and expect to see dramatic changes. This is about incorporating it into your regular routine and letting those beneficial compounds build up in your system over time. Think of it like going to the gym. You don't do one workout and expect to see a completely transformed physique the next day. It's the consistent, repeated actions that create lasting change. The same principle applies to using food as medicine. Let me give you a simple, actionable blueprint that you can start implementing today, not tomorrow, not next week, but literally today. This is about creating sustainable habits that fit into your real life, not some perfect world where you have unlimited time and energy. Firstly, embrace the power of color diversity. Pick 2 colors per day, 1 yellow or green fruit like banana or kiwi, and 1 red or blue fruit like berries or watermelon. This isn't arbitrary, you're creating a full spectrum of antioxidants that work together synergistically. It's like assembling a superhero team where each member has different powers, but together they're unstoppable. Secondly, and this is crucial for your blood sugar stability, always pair your fruit with some protein or fiber. Think Greek yogurt, a handful of nuts, chia seeds, or even a slice of cheese. This prevents those blood sugar spikes that can actually work against your blood pressure goals, and it helps prolong that nitric oxide boost we've been talking about. You're essentially creating a time-release system for all these beneficial compounds. Here's what I want you to do, and this is where we separate the people who just watch videos from the people who actually change their lives. Track your blood pressure in the morning and evening for the next 14 days while incorporating these fruits into your routine. Use a simple notebook, your phone's notes app, whatever works for you. But track it consistently. Then, and this is the part I'm most excited about, come back to this video and comment your results. I am genuinely curious to see how this works for different people, and your experience could be the encouragement someone else needs to start their own journey. Plus, when other viewers see real results from real people, it creates this amazing community of support and motivation. If you're someone who loves data and wants to get really detailed, also note which fruits you ate each day, how you felt, your energy levels, even your sleep quality. Sometimes the benefits extend far beyond just blood pressure numbers. So let's recap this incredible journey we've taken together today, because what we've discovered isn't just interesting trivia, it's potentially life-changing information that challenges everything we thought we knew about managing blood pressure naturally. We've got potassium from bananas that works 3 times more effectively than salt restriction. We've got anthocyanins from berries that act like tiny relaxation therapists for your arteries. We've got flavonoids from citrus fruits that keep your blood vessels flexible and resilient. We've got serotonin boosters from kiwis that calm your entire cardiovascular system. And we've got citrulline from watermelon that converts into nature's most powerful blood vessel dilator. When you step back and look at this list, it's like having access to a natural pharmaceutical cocktail that's been hiding in plain sight in your local grocery store's produce section. These aren't just nutrients we're talking about, they're powerful, bioactive compounds with mechanisms of action that rival many prescription medications. But here's what makes this approach so much better than just popping pills: you're not just addressing your blood pressure in isolation. You're supporting your overall health, boosting your immune system, improving your energy levels, enhancing your mood, and providing your body with dozens of other beneficial compounds that work together in ways we're still discovering. The beautiful thing about food as medicine is that there are rarely any negative side effects when you do it right. Compare that to blood pressure medications, which can cause fatigue, dizziness, sexual dysfunction, and a whole host of other issues that sometimes make people wonder if the cure is worse than the problem. Here's the thought I want to leave you with, and I want you to really sit with this for a moment. Tomorrow morning, when you're standing in your kitchen making breakfast and thinking about your day ahead, you're going to have a choice to make. Will you reach for that salt shaker, trying to make your bland, restricted diet taste a little better, or will you reach for one of these powerful fruits that could do 3 times more for your blood pressure than all that salt restriction you've been putting yourself through? The choice is yours, but now you have the peer-reviewed science to back up whatever decision you make. You're not operating on hope or wishful thinking anymore, you're armed with evidence-based strategies that have been tested in real clinical trials with real people getting real results. Before you go anywhere, I need to hear from you because your engagement is what makes this whole community work. Drop a comment below and tell me what your favorite blood pressure-friendly fruit is going to be moving forward. Are you team banana because of that incredible potassium power? Are you team berries because of those beautiful anthocyanins? Maybe you're excited to try the kiwi approach, or perhaps watermelon season can't come fast enough for you. Or maybe, and this would be really cool, you're planning to try something completely different that I didn't even mention today. There are so many incredible fruits out there with cardiovascular benefits that we could probably do an entire series on this topic. If this video opened your eyes to the incredible power of food as medicine, if it made you realize that nature has already provided us with everything we need to support our health, then smash that like button. Seriously, that little thumbs up tells YouTube that this content is valuable and helps it reach more people who desperately need this information. Make sure you subscribe for more evidence-based health content that cuts through the noise and gives you actionable strategies you can implement immediately. And definitely hit that notification bell so you never miss an update, because I'm constantly finding new research that could change how you think about your health. Your heart will thank you for taking action on this information, your future self will thank you for making these changes today instead of waiting until tomorrow, and honestly, I'll thank you too for being part of this community of people who believe that we can take control of our health naturally. Thanks for watching, for engaging, and for being open to new ideas. I'll see you in the next video where we're diving deep into something that's going to blow your mind, the surprising and powerful connection between gut health and blood pressure. We're talking about how the bacteria in your digestive system might be the missing piece in your cardiovascular health puzzle. Trust me, you absolutely won't want to miss it because this research is going to change everything you think you know about where blood pressure problems actually start.